This nibble originally aired on RSBANDB Update, episode 841, The Zaros Hipster. Enjoy. And then we get to Chapter 12, which was the brand new chapter that completed this entire arc after a year. And this one begins by saying the first Ilyushankan eggs have been laid on Gielinor in decades, and they are laid by my test subjects. It will be years before we can determine if my experiments were a true success. We may simply be suffering the whimsical vagaries of fate, but this clutch contained one more egg than normal, or so I am told. Perhaps, just perhaps, we're onto something. It's not a cure, of course. There's more to be done. Years and years of study and investigation before we can be sure, but it's a start. They have promised that the egg should hatch. They will name a child after me. I have told them not to. My name was chosen by my father. He carried it through all the other versions of me. It is petty, but I want this victory to carry nothing of his. Nothing. Instead, I ask that they name them Atoya in honor of the Ilyushanka who sacrificed herself for her people. Much more fitting, I think. My friend and I don't think myself at fault for thinking of you as such. We have potentially changed the destiny of an entire species, but my work here is done. I shall remain to assist you with this device. I sense that there's more you can still gain from it. But now I must turn my research away from the ashes of my father's knowledge. I shall reclaim my own destiny and step out of my father's shadow. Who knows, perhaps in time it shall be he who stands trapped in mine.
That was a really rather sweet ending, wasn't it?
Yeah. And I'm wondering, with the potentiality of these Elder God eggs hatching at some point in the future, or sorry, not Elder God eggs, Dragonkin eggs.
Ilyanko eggs.
Yeah, sure. Could this be in any way linked to the fallout of the Elder God Wars? Something that the Dragonkin will have to do with the hatched Elder Gods? Because I think we have to assume that the eggs are either going to hatch. The Elder God eggs, that is, they're either going to hatch or they're either going to get destroyed. And perhaps there's going to be some tie-in with these Ilyushankan eggs.
It's quite interesting to be talking so hopefully about the future here, when, on the other hand, you are fighting in the Elder God Wars dungeon for the sake of even having a future in the first place.
Right?
Mm-hmm. How much of a future are we going to have? Are these eggs even going to make it? I mean, naturally, RuneScape is going to continue existing, but yeah, how well are things going to go?
Right, and my big question coming out of this is that maybe because the Dragonkin, as we know them, are creatures of the last revision, maybe there's something that these young Dragonkin, Ilyushankan, can do to aid us along. But they say years, but who knows? There could be some way of speeding that up, perhaps.
I think you're kind of getting the Dragonkin and the Ilyanka mixed up a bit there.
Oh? Aren't the Ilyushankan
are the Dragon Riders.
Oh, oops. Very good point. Well, everything I'm referring to is Ilyushankan then.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, the Ilyanka aren't the creatures of the past revision, though.
No,
it's just the Dragonkin then.
Yeah, but there's got to be some sort of link between that, right?
Yeah, I don't know. That's been an ongoing thing, like with Vindicta and Hannibus, and there have been incoming Ilyankan colonists. I think they are going to be more of a force on Gielinor. There's, even in the cute little Valentine's quest, Heartstealer, you had an incoming Ilyanka colonist just casually there, casually talking about what was going on. And I think that's just the start of things. There's going to be more of them hanging around, being another faction, I suppose. There is another force on Gielinor.
Could these new Ilyushankan help in breaking the curse at some point years in the future of the Nodon? That could be the link.
I was just thinking.
Yeah, I think it would sort of come around because Kerapac was originally studying the Illuyanka to break the curse, but Vicendithas was studying them for the sake of helping them, and I guess it would be kind of nice and it would be nice and karmic if by his sheer goodwill he actually manages to help the Dragonkin out anyway. Essentially reaches Kerapac's original goal by being genuinely nice and altruistic.
Because, and it'll be, I bet it has something to do with if the eggs don't hatch and they're killed, then Jazz will go...
Which eggs?
Nutty. The Elder Gods.
Okay, the Elder
Gods.
There's
too many eggs.
Yeah, there's too many eggs we're talking about.
Yeah, right? too many eggs for one basket. And then when she goes nutty, the Illagonquin... Illagonquin, yeah. Did I just turn them into North American natives? Yeah, I think I did. Anyway. But no, like, because of their connection, because of the way that they communicate with Dragon, I bet they can break the curse, but I bet Jazz might have to be out of the picture, or at least
right,
and incapacitated in some way, which maybe killing these eggs will incapacitate the Elder Gods themselves.
I like your idea, though, the way that Illuyanka can communicate with dragons. I guess that very well could extend to the Dragonkin. It's like, hey, snap out of it.
Yeah, and that kind of is the direction I was going to with that. But 2 points on this one. It will be years before we can determine if my experiments were a success. And therein lies the problem. How many years do we want to wait for this in RuneScape storyline, right?
The Illuyanka sadly do not grow up fast enough for the update cycle.
Well, I mean, after all the fronts are done, we could presumably, as World Guardian, gain access to the needle and,
just time travel these eggs.
Time travel these eggs forward. Pull them out of the future and bring them back, kind of like was done with Anachronia, perhaps. Though that might be a bit of a cop-out. But see, that's the thing. I don't think this would be written unless they were designed to come to fruition in the future at some point, to be used at some point in the future, right?
I mean, because, it's not like Jagex ever starts a story and doesn't pay it off. That doesn't happen. Ever.
Oh, we're gonna be doing this podcast 10 years from now. We're finally gonna find out what happened with Maud Raven's Illuyankan eggs.
Guys, looking forward to Aphisandra?
The other forbidden thing you're not allowed to name. I don't know. Overall, I really enjoyed this. The lore that came from Effigy Incubator. You could definitely feel Maud Raven inside of it in terms of some of the harsher chapters that I pointed out, and just how we were kind of on the edge of what he has been told in the past is acceptable in terms of Atoya being poisoned by one of the experiments and dying painfully. That's a very Maud Raven thing, I think. But overall, I feel like it ended in a pretty good way. And recall, this is my last point on this, that this was the first thing that they put in that was in effect weaving story through everything last year. This is the beginning of that endeavor. And I think it's paid off very, very well.
It's been a genuinely wonderful bit of content to have just repeatedly giving and giving.
Yeah, and quite honestly, I was going for the lore each month rather than the effigies. You can find full episodes of RSBANDB Update right here on this YouTube channel. If you found this video useful or just enjoyed it, like and subscribe, or leave a comment.